It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, 6:30 on the nose. It is time, showtime. The Geno Jones Showtime. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So in Atlanta, up in New York City, Philly, Miami, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Chicago, Houston, New Orleans, St. Louis, Memphis, Milwaukee, Minneapolis. Shout out to Minnesota. We got a lot to talk about Minnesota. Thank you, state of Minnesota, for your governor. I got a lot to say about that coming up 5:30 Central Time. Live in LA, live in Los Angeles, 3:30 p.m., not just in LA, but on the West Coast. So Oakland, San Francisco, the Bay Area, up in Seattle, or Portland, Oregon. Shout out to my daughter, my son-in-law, Boogie, and Jonathan, or as my wife calls him, John. New homeowners up in Portland, Oregon. I am so proud of you both, and I love you both. So out in Portland, live, it's 3:30 p.m. Now, listen, tell everybody, or as my man Nelly, who got in a little trouble, I'm going to tell you about that in a minute, too. As Nelly would say, tell everybody, surprising, tell everybody to get my ass out of jail. No, tell everybody to subscribe, share. Screen grab means rip some of the video. So some people say screen grab, some say rip the video. You know it. Chop it up. Screen grab, rip about a minute or two or whatever, or 5 minutes of the whole damn show, and you can put it on whatever platform that you have, share it, copy and paste the link. You can post it on, tag other people's pages, email it, copy and paste the link in an email, however you want to do it. I'm all good with it. Subscribe, share, screen grab, like, binge watch all my back episodes. Please leave your comments. Leave all your comments in the comments section. And if you're watching me live right now, I have a chat room that's open so we can have a conversation. If you got a question, if you got a comment, you want to have a conversation with me live on camera, you want to give me your opinion about what you think about what Vice President Harris did in terms of selecting her running mate, we can have that conversation. Whatever conversation you want to have. Feel froggish. If you feel froggish, they say, take a leap. Go ahead, jump in the chat room and post your comments right there or questions, and I am here for you. So do that. Once again, I have a goal. Basically, I have a goal to get 1,000 new subscribers. I'm approaching 700, and I want to thank all of my subscribers. So listen, October marks the 4th year anniversary of the Geno Jones Show live. So I got some big things coming up in October. Probably like the second week will be the official marking of the 4th year anniversary of the Geno Jones Show. We'll talk about all that. I got a lot more to say about that coming up. But my goal is to get 1,000 new subscribers, or 1,000 additional subscribers, roughly in the next 60 days or so. That'll put us right around, put us very close to that time, sometime in October. All right, so feel free, go ahead and spread the word. Tell everybody, spread the word like a good virus. To subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. You can binge watch all my back episodes with all my great guests, all my new school artists. October London. It's my man. As a matter of fact, the young lady, future star, Listen, it's got a new song, a duet with Keith Sweat, Right and Wrong Way. My old school legends, from Mr. Big himself, Ronald Isley, Kenny Lattimore, Howard Hewitt, Lenny Williams, Larry Dotson, former lead singer for the Bar-Kays, Southern Soul, R&B Southern Soul superstars like Roy Chip Anthony. So many, I can't even keep track of everybody. Hello, my friend. Good evening to Heather, who's watching me live. Thank you, Heather. And let me just shout out everybody here in the, we call it the Low Country area here in South Carolina. So basically, the Low Country is, if you look at a map, so South Carolina is kind of like that. And down here, the coast, we've got the coast. So you got like Greenville, Spartanburg, that's, you know, the upper northmost part of South Carolina. So at the top, the northern part, the uppermost northern part of South Carolina, Greenville, Spartanburg. And on the southern coast, because the southern part of South Carolina is right on the Atlantic Ocean. And Charleston, South Carolina is called the Low Country, because a lot of our area is either at or below sea level. So hence the Low Country. So we had this tropical storm that literally, as a matter of fact, is still hovering over us now. We're still getting rain. This has been going on since like Monday afternoon, and it really got ugly like Monday night, Tuesday especially. So it was just some areas like up to 18 inches of rain. Here in my part of North Charleston, we got about, well now, we're probably up to about 14 inches maybe, I would think. Probably somewhere around 14, 15 inches. And there's certain areas that were, this morning, were still underwater. An area called Hugie, an area called Hugie. So basically, to all those, the Low Country, the southern part of South Carolina, even Myrtle Beach got some, but Kiowa Island, Edisto Island, Hilton Head, because Savannah's really right on the, so Savannah's like the northern part of Georgia, and really Savannah is right on the Georgia-South Carolina state line. So I just want to send my prayers out to everybody. Hopefully you and your property, the most important thing, you and your families are safe, because you can replace property. You can get a home fixed, or you can buy a new home, or you can move in, rent someplace. If a car got flooded out, you can replace a car, but what you cannot replace a human life. You can't do it. So I pray that you and your family are safe. But I still hope that your property, hopefully that you didn't suffer a lot of damage, property damage, be it your home, your apartment, townhome, automobile, or whatever your property is, hopefully that you didn't get too much water damage. So I just want to shout out this. So thank you, Heather, for watching. Thanks to everybody else for watching. And anyone else watching me live, please don't forget to jump into my chat room. If you got a question, well, just say hi, like Heather did. Say good evening, hi, how you doing? You got a question, you got a comment, you want to have a conversation with me on camera, we can do that also. So let's start off with some good news. Man, I am so excited about Team USA, all of USA's teams. So just big shout out, congratulations. First of all, the sister, she's a sprinter, Gabby Thomas. So congratulations, Gabby Thomas. She won the gold medal in the women's 200 meters final yesterday. I think, well, they played it again last night, so I think it was yesterday morning our time, because Paris is like 6 hours ahead of like Charleston or New York City. So Gabby Thomas, Harvard grad, and she's like going to med school. Just the sister is brilliant. She works in healthcare and does a lot of community work. She's got an amazing resume, and the sister is fast. As a matter of fact, she won the 200 meters. She beat the sister from St. Lucia, Julian Alfred, I think, I mispronounced her last name, who won the gold medal in the 100 meter. Sha'Carri Richardson got the silver medal. But some really funny stuff happened with Sha'Carri Richardson and Shelly Ann Fraser Price with Jamaica. I'll get back to that in a second. But I got to shout out Gabby Thomas, gold medalist, the gold medalist in the 200, women's 200 meters. And shout out to Brittany Brown. Brittany Brown won a bronze medal. So in the women's 200 meters final, we got a gold medal with Gabby Thomas, and we got a bronze medal with Brittany Brown. So congratulations. So I want to shout out the sister. So she was born in Ohio. Her parents are from Nigeria. Back in the Tokyo Olympics in 2021, she competed for Nigeria, but something happened. There was some controversy. So this year she competed for America because she was born here, and her name is Annette Neka Ichikun. Now, let me take my time to try to pronounce her name. So listen, Annette or Neka, if I'm mispronouncing your name, I apologize, my sister. No disrespect. Blame it on, I don't have a pronunciation guide. Eki Kunwoki. I believe that's how it's pronounced, something like that. Eka Kunwoki. Eka Kunwoki. Something like that. So anyway, so Neka, congratulations. So America has never, like men or women, America has never got a medal in the hammer throw. Definitely, I think there's been no American woman for certain. I don't even know if an American man has ever medaled in the hammer throw. So Neka, she won a silver medal in the women's hammer throw. So shout out to you, my sister. Shout out to Neka Eki Kunwoki, because I just, that's the anal part of my personality. I can't let something just beat me or whip me. When it comes to pronouncing names or pronunciations, since that's kind of what I do. I kind of get paid to do that, especially on my radio show. So I digress. So shout out to Neka, shout out to Gabby Thomas, gold medalist, Brittany Brown, bronze medal in the 200 meters finals. Shout out to Neka, silver medal in the hammer throw. Shout out to his brother Quincy Hall, won the gold medal in the 400 meters final. It was amazing. I saw the video. So I don't know, I'd say maybe this is 400 meters. So probably about at 300 meters, somewhere around 300 meters, 300 and maybe 20 meters. Quincy Hall was out of it. I mean, he wasn't in first, second, or third. He was out of what they call a medal contention. He may have been like fifth or sixth. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Quincy, you see him, he just turned on that extra gear, and because the 400 is pretty long, and so a lot of it is stamina. It's like a sprint distance. So, you got to be fast, but you got to have enough stamina to be able to finish those last 100 meters, 50 meters strong. And man, especially his last 50 meters, he just ran down his competition and won a gold medal. I saw the video. It was so exciting. So shout out, brother Quincy. Man, you did the damn thing, bruh. You did the damn thing. So congratulations to Quincy Hall, another, and just the brothers. I'm rooting for all of the American athletes. I don't care what your background is, but for the culture, I just love to see from Simone Biles and Jordan Childs, the sisters that's been dominating in the last event. It was amazing. So you had the gold medal went to the sister Rebecca Andrade, and then Simone Biles got the silver medal, and Jordan Childs got the bronze medal because Simone and Jordan, they slipped off this, I think it was the balance beam, and so Rebecca, who was a hell of a gymnast, so she has blown out her Achilles. She has torn her Achilles 3 times. 3 times. And for a professional athlete, even with today's modern technology and medicine, man, if you tear your Achilles 3 times and able to, just having the will and the fortitude and the desire, determination and strength to come back, what it takes to the rehab it takes for a year. And this sister, she tore her Achilles 3 times, not Achilles, her ACL. Did I say Achilles? She blew out her ACL. That's the ligament. That's. It used to be a career-ending injury, and in a lot of cases, you're never the same for it. A world-class athlete. So it was so cool, Simone and Jordan, because these young women, they've been competing against each other, and Simone is the GOAT. Simone is secure. She's like, look, I'm going to give this sister some props. So when they received their medals, Simone was on one side, and Jordan was on the other side. And so when Rebecca and Andrade from Brazil stepped up to the podium for the gold medalists, they like bowed down, like, we bow down to this sister. And some folks was tripping and saying, oh, it's disgraceful. And it's like, no, dude, you don't even understand the backstory. These young women have been competing against each other for years. They knew what it took being at, and nobody knows better than Simone Biles. Remember, she had to basically, in Tokyo, she had to walk away because she was having issues with what they call the twisties, and she had to address her mental health. So she had to come back from something. But physically, to come back from tearing your ACL as a gymnast, and all you do is land on your legs like that. So all that, just the pressure that you're putting on your knees and your ACL, which is probably what happened. How she, as they say, blew it out or tore her ACL 3 times and came back and won a gold medal. So that was respect and sportsmanship. So I'm not mad at you, Simone, because look, you're the GOAT, undisputed GOAT, greatest of all damn time. And the fact that you saw this Brazilian sister, Afro-Latino sister, Afro-Brazilian sister, and 3 black women were on the podium, gold, silver, and bronze. That says something about the culture, for the culture. So shout out to Simone. I had to get that in there. So I want to congratulate women's USA basketball. The women played today, beat Nigeria 88-74. So shout out to USA basketball. The men, they beat the brakes. Speaking of Brazil, they beat the brakes off Brazil. Maybe y'all needed Rebecca. Can Rebecca play? Can the gymnast Rebecca Andrade? Can she shoot? Can she shoot threes or rebound or play defense? Because y'all needed some help. So USA men's basketball beat the brakes off Brazil yesterday, like 122, 122-84. So we play Serbia on Thursday. So that should be a good game. They got this guy, Nikola Jokic. They call him the Joker. Some say the best player in the NBA, best player in the world. Anthony Davis, LeBron, Kevin Durant will have a whole lot to say about that. Steph Curry and Jason Tatum. Oh, yeah, they'll have something to say about that. AD, tomorrow is your chance to show the world how Chicago ballers ball. Because this year, you weren't afraid. You went at Joker. So here's your chance to show the world. Check his ass. Now, he's a hell of a player. I can't take no shade, but look, AD, you are Anthony Davis. Don't you forget it. South side of Chicago, stand up, AD, Anthony Davis. Because I know Kevin Durant going to be like repping Prince George's County, Maryland, the DMV as they call it, D.C., Maryland, Virginia. Because Kevin Durant's been balling. I can make an argument he's been the best player in the entire Olympics in terms of basketball players. I can make the same argument for LeBron because LeBron's been balling, just doing everything, scoring, rebounding, assists. He threw one no-look pass, not quite half court, but like he was standing out of bounds. It was like boom, alley-oop to Jason Tatum. So USA basketball represent, show the world. USA basketball, damn it. What? So you see I get excited. I love the Olympics. So just want to shout out all the gold medal winners. My brother Noah Lyles is going to win his second gold medal tonight. The finals of the men's 200 meters event happening tonight. So, all right, Noah Lyles, handle your business, partner. Do your thing. Now, let me segue here. My man Nelly, Mr. Cornell Hayes Jr. Oh, did you know that's his real government name? Cornell Hayes Jr. Got in a little trouble this morning, about 5 a.m. Central Time. So I guess it was about 6 o'clock on the East Coast. I guess he was at the this Hollywood casino that's in St. Louis County, because Nelly is from St. Louis. That's his home, St. Louis, Missouri. So he got arrested this morning in St. Louis County at the Hollywood casino for failure to appear. I guess there was some type of warrant. He had a warrant out from 2018. I guess he was supposed to appear in court. That's 6 years. 6 years? Y'all ain't been able to find Nelly in 6 years. Y'all wait 6 years to serve this warrant and arrest him? And also, according to all these reports I saw, he had like 4 ecstasy tablets or pills, 4 ecstasy pills. I don't know. I guess him and Ashanti, you know, I guess, I don't know. I ain't saying she do X, but I'm just saying, look, I'm not going to get into their business because she's pregnant with their first child. But anyway, so I'm sure he's out now. So, all right, shout out to Nelly, man. You don't need these. Come on, dude. You know they coming for you anyway. They looking. Come on, St. Louis County, or whatever county it was, y'all had this warrant for 6 years, and you serve it at a casino. Okay, Missouri, that's a whole nother story. So, all right, shout out to Nelly, bro. You got enough money, get you a good lawyer, man. Just deal with it, get it out the way, and get it behind you. Now, before I go, because I know a lot of folks have tuned in, so it was no live show last night. As a matter of fact, I'm watching in real time last night. Vice President Kamala Harris, she basically introduced her pick to be her vice president. Governor Tim Walz, is Walz, not Waltz, W-A-L-Z, Tim Walz, to be her running mate, to be her vice president. So I got a chance to see that whole speech, and I didn't want to interrupt. And I wanted everybody else to be able to see it also. So now, people have been asking me, they've been texting me. My mother called me. She actually called in real time. I'm there taking notes. And I know folks are watching right now. I see everybody, conversation. Hi, speaking of my mother, hello, mother, how are you? I see you watching right now. So, Geno, what do you think? Let me just say congratulations to Vice President Kamala Harris. What you did was brilliant. It was brilliant. Because you picked someone who you knew that was going to stand 10 toes down with you, for you, and behind you, and be okay with that. And understand that the job of the vice president is to basically execute the vision and the policies of the president, and not to try to outshine the president or to, upstage the president or to kind of backstab undermine the president. None of that. It needed to be somebody that you could trust, the way President Biden was able to trust you, and the way President Obama was able to trust Joe Biden. So I'm watching last night, and I saw Tim Walz. So the first thing that hits me, I'm like, okay, now, for all the MAGA cult, and all the racists and misogynists and sexists and homophobes and transphobes, for that whole cult, for that racist, sexist, misogynist, violent cult that's always tripping, talking about, because DEI is now, for the MAGA cult and the racists, DEI is the new N-word. Like, they don't really have enough guts to call you like the N-word to your face. And now it's like, they can't get on CNN or Fox News, fake news or whatever, and say the N-word. So now there is like DEI. So it's used as a pejorative, a negative term, a slur, the N-word. Somebody calls you a DEI hire, they're calling you the N-word. I'm just telling you. But we know that. In the culture, we know that. But so MAGA cult. Now, you see how this DEI thing can work? And I put an emphasis on diversity. See, DEI can work for old white men too. You got an old, balding white dude, 60. See how DEI worked for him? Now, so much about this white replacement theory. What happened there? How's that working out for you? See, MAGA cult, DEI can work for you too. Because what DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion is all about is just that, a diversity. We are a diverse nation. Multiple races and cultures come together, basically, so we can live our best lives. So we and our family and our kids hopefully can live a better life and to be even more successful than we have. We always, parents, you want better for your children. America is President Biden has said it best. America is like a state of mind. It's a promise. It's a promise for everybody to reach their full potential. Now, I know that's flawed because of racism, along with misogyny and sexism and homophobia, but racism has always been the engine that drove this car. Diversity has never really been fully realized. And here we are now, closer, because we are in a multicultural, multiracial society. And some folks see that as, they're going to replace white people and white men. First of all, you can't be replaced, because this whiteness that you talk about, you understand, was made up. It's bullshit. People there was a small handful of people way back in the late 1680s in Europe that came up with this whole concept of whiteness. Europeans before the 1680s never called themselves white. They were from France, or they were Germans, or French, or Italians, or they were Polish from Poland, or Eastern Europe, Russians, Armenians from Hungary, or like Southeast Asia, but they were never white. Europeans, when they was fighting each other and killing each other, just Google all the wars of the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, World War I, World War II. White people didn't start calling other people who looked like them, other people who didn't have pigmentation, is what I really wanted to say, until the late 1600s. And the people who came up with this whole idea of whiteness did it. To put white people who weren't elite, who didn't have power, who weren't the 1%, who controlled the social, economic, and political power. It was a term like England. They had like the aristocrats, the royal family, and then the peasants. Peasants was a term that white people used to refer to other white people who weren't in that elite class, financially, economically, socially, or politically. So they came up with this whole concept of whiteness to pit people that look like them, but to make you think that somebody that looked like me was the reason that you didn't have economic, political, or social power. They had to demonize somebody. While they were digging in your pocket, they were making you think that, dark people, Native Americans, or, Mexicans now, or women, or gay and lesbian or trans people were the reason for your status in life. So for all those millions in Appalachia who generations of poor white people who were on welfare, public assistance. But remember, Reagan tried to create that in the 80s, the whole welfare queen. The reality is the majority of people, the number one demographic in terms of Americans who are on public assistance or welfare or EBT card, WIC, are young white women. But see, Reagan, they didn't want to promote that image, so they wanted, once again, to demonize and to use race. See, you got that black welfare queen, and that's why you're paying so many taxes, because of that black woman. Divide and conquer. All right? And that's what's happening now. But all of a sudden, here's Governor Tim Walz. From rural, well, actually, he was born in Kansas or Nebraska, then he moved to Minnesota. He was a school teacher. First of all, he joined the Army Reserves when he was 17. He became, his rank, Sergeant Major. So he was the highest former enlisted man that ever served in the United States Congress. For 12 years, he was a congressman for the southern part of his district was in southern Minnesota. Rural area, like 95, 98, 99% white, because Minnesota's a pretty white state. Just don't take my word for it, Google it. Then he became the governor. He's a hunter. He's a marksman, he said. He was a school teacher. He was a coach, a linebackers coach for his high school football team. He is a Beyonce fan. He named a highway after Prince. He had a Beyonce day. He's a big Taylor Swift fan. He's just a real regular dude, just from rural America. He is what J.D. Vance claims to be, because, this dude, J.D. Vance, wrote this book, Hillbilly Elegy, Orange Hitler's vice president nominee. Really a phony dude, actually didn't grow up in Appalachia, but his family did, and his mom was on drugs. So he wrote a book basically talking down his poor hillbilly ancestors, hence the book Hillbilly Elegy. And then he went to Hollywood and turned it into a movie. So he was pimping his culture. Went to Yale, talked down to people like his mom, who was, got addicted to drugs, and other family members. But Tim Walz is like the genuine article. He's the real deal. As my grandfather, Conway Jones, would say, he was a real McCoy. And Google real McCoy. Real McCoy is a black man. So hence the term, you hear the term, the real McCoy was after, that term came from a black man who was a brilliant, inventor. So you can Google that at another time. But Governor Tim Walz, the real McCoy, the genuine article from rural America, but gets along with everybody, likes everybody. As a matter of fact, he set up he was like the faculty leader. There was a student who was gay at the high school, and he basically asked Governor Walz, who was a teacher at the time before he became governor, before he became member of the House of Representatives, a U.S. representative, if he could be like the faculty advisor. There was a gay straight alliance club organization in his high school. And as a matter of fact, I saw the young man on TV. He went to governor at the time. He was just a teacher, Coach Walz, Tim Walz, Tim Walz, and asked him if he would be like a faculty member that would kind of oversee everything. Because I guess they needed, they had to have this club inside the school. They had to have one of the teachers who would kind of just oversee everything and be the faculty advisor, or I can't think of the correct term. And that was Tim Walz, before he became U.S. House of Representatives member, Representative Tim Walz from southern Minnesota, and then way before he became Governor Tim Walz. As a matter of fact, his high school students that he taught and he coached, talked him into running for public office. Now, something that you should know, Governor Walz was the governor that basically got special prosecutor. As a matter of fact, he was in the House of Representatives, and his name escapes me. I can't think of the brother's name. I just heard him on the radio. The prosecutor who convicted Derek Chauvin, and a name will come to me when I'm not trying to think of it. But the brother who was the prosecutor was basically selected by the governor, Governor Tim Walz, because the governor wasn't really satisfied with the way, I guess, the DA for the county that the city of Minneapolis is in. So he said, no, because Governor Walz spoke out and he said, there are too many innocent, unarmed black people being killed by police. And Governor Walz is very pro-police, but he said what he witnessed with George Floyd and Derek Chauvin, he said, this is happening too much. It's got to stop. You can Google that yourself. Tim Walz, Governor Tim Walz. So he went and found, I can see the brother's face too, by my complexion, wears glasses. Actually, he was one of the few Muslims that was in government, because I don't think, he wasn't a senator. I know he was a House of Representatives. But anyway, his name will come to me. But the bottom line is, Governor Tim Walz assigned a special, wasn't called a special prosecutor, but he assigned a different prosecutor, basically, to get a conviction from Derek Chauvin. And Derek Chauvin is sitting in jail today because Governor Tim Walz wanted to make sure that he personally handpicked a prosecutor that would do the right thing, and then would come back with a guilty verdict against Derek Chauvin for murdering George Floyd. So that's Governor Tim Walz. Now, for some folks that may say, well, they had riots in Minneapolis, and he was the governor, and he let the city burn. Oh, there was a police station that burned. Well, what you need to understand about Minnesota, the way the law works in Minnesota, that it takes a city official. So for the governor to send in the National Guard, which he did, he couldn't on his own send in the National Guard to any city, including Minneapolis in Minnesota, until the mayor of that city, so the mayor of Minneapolis, called, or the procedure, I think you got it formal, there's like a formal letter. Basically, the mayor had to request the National Guard. So he had to contact the governor and say, hey, listen, could you please send the National Guard to Minneapolis? So when the mayor of Minneapolis called Governor Tim Walz and requested that the National Guard be sent in to tamp down the civil unrest in Minneapolis. Governor Tim Walz sent in the National Guard. So Governor Tim Walz didn't let the city burn down. Governor Tim Walz couldn't do anything in terms of sending in the National Guard until the mayor requested it. So tell your MAGA cult members that, and tell them they can Google that too and find out for themselves. So I just thought I'd let everybody know about that. So listen, so shout out to Vice President Kamala Harris. Brilliant. Listen, I'd have been okay with Governor Josh Shapiro, but I got to say this because he came out and spoke first and got a thunderous ovation. He's the governor of Pennsylvania. The rally was in Philly. It was at a basketball stadium at the University of Temple. I think they had like 14,000 people. People are cheering. They love Governor Shapiro. He's got a 61% approval rating, and I get it. But is it me? I don't know how many times, especially lately, because Governor Shapiro comes across like, I'm like, okay, is he doing a Barack Obama impersonation? If I didn't know better, I'm like, okay, am I watching Saturday Night Live? And we have, so is this like somebody doing Barack Obama in whiteface? Because he's got the Barack Obama cadence and the whole, it was like a Barack Obama impersonation. That's the second time I've seen, especially while this whole vice president's search was on. I saw him because I've heard him speak before, and he was a little more chilled, a little more, uptight, not stuffy, but he was a little more, what's the right word? He was just, he was more of your atypical politician, spoke reserved and, very professional. But man, I don't know if he had some collard greens and catfish or something, but when he was running to be the VP pick, he was turning into Barack Obama. Like if his hair would have, curled up, if, he got like the little short gray fro, because he was, and been out in the sun and took them glasses off, because I'm like, boy, dude, you are really doing this Barack Obama thing, and I don't know, it ain't working, because for me, Governor Josh Shapiro, he had that pick-me vibe, that pick-me energy. Like he was thirsty, like he really wanted to be the vice president. But he really, really wanted to be president, because after seeing the speech yesterday, I'm like, okay, you were doing this Barack Obama impersonation. The only thing I didn't hear you say was there are no red states and blue states, because it sounded like his 2028 presidential campaign kickoff speech. And that's not a knock on Governor Josh Shapiro. And for the MAGA cult that's saying, oh, the Democrats are anti-Semitic, he's Jewish and you didn't pick him, bullshit, stop the lie. Because what y'all don't know, or probably know and just want to ignore, Josh Shapiro was his own worst enemy. Because from all the research that I have done, Josh Shapiro, so Sunday, Josh Shapiro, Mark Kelly, Senator Mark Kelly in Arizona, and of course Governor Tim Walz had like one-on-one sit-down conversations with Vice President Kamala Harris. And so from all these reliable sources, I was told and I heard that Governor Josh Shapiro went in basically kind of centering himself. Basically, he went in telling the vice president how he envisioned his role, or how he envisioned the kind of vice president that he would be. Hold on, partner. That ain't your call. You ain't even got selected, and you going in talking about how you envision the role of a vice president to be? That ain't your job to decide the role of, if you become president, you get to make that decision. But just the arrogance. See, the arrogance and the privilege that you could talk to this. I'm putting it with a straight. I'm giving it to you straight, no chaser. I'm giving you the Bacardi 151 without the Coca-Cola. I'm putting it where the ghosts can get it. The privilege, the arrogance that you could talk to this black woman who's going to be your boss. She is the president. You are, basically, your job as the vice president is to execute her vision, her policies, not to undermine her, she don't need to be looking behind her. She don't have to worry about, watching her back. Is he going to sabotage me? And I heard a lot of these people close to Vice President Kamala Harris say that one of the main things that she was looking for was trust. And it's clear. Just his energy. Josh Shapiro's energy, like I said, he had this pick me, but then I want to be, because I see this as a stepping stone so I can be president. She couldn't trust him. You can be too kids, you're too thirsty. You were too thirsty. Hey, pick me, but you had to pick me energy for the wrong reason. She could see through that. Her and her team could see. And then I heard afterwards, I guess after that meeting, even he realized, oh, I probably won't get picked. That's what I heard. It didn't go to you. How you gonna go in and tell somebody how you see the job? Okay, I think this is my vision of how a vice president's role should be. You ain't got the job. She's gonna make that determination. So you need to find out what is her vision, what does she need, how does she see you in that role, how can you as a vice president complement and support the president? Now come on, Josh, you an intelligent dude, you should have known better than that. So the fact that your arrogance or hubris or privilege, or maybe just because she was a woman and a black woman, that you could kind of come in and, well, yeah, you thought your white male privilege would just kind of take over and she would bow down like, oh yeah, Josh, you know better than me because, the white man know better. Come on. And Vice President Kamala Harris didn't say it, but I could see it. And her people said it without saying what I said. I'm translating what I have heard. What I've heard from reporters who followed the vice president and who've talked to people who were close to the whole vetting process. Because, she had the former attorney general, Barack Obama's attorney general, Eric Holder. He led the search. So I'm sure he was like, no, this dude, you can't trust him. He's setting you up. He's setting himself up to run. He'll primary you, run against you in 2028. No. But the fact that he was so arrogant that he would go in and talking about how he envisioned the role of a vice president to be, I think this is the way I would like to do it. Dude, you had some big old balls, but once again, that arrogance, that ego, it'll get your ass every time. Mark Kelly was really my first choice. I just think that from what I heard, there was just one thing was they didn't think that Senator Kelly was really loyal enough to President Biden, when a lot of folks, they were coming for President Biden's head, trying to get him to, step down. So what I heard that, they didn't see him as sufficiently loyal to President Biden. And I guess they're like, well, shit, you old white dude, if you weren't loyal to this white man, you damn sure ain't gonna be loyal to a black woman. But I don't get any kind of racist vibe from Mark Kelly, Senator Mark Kelly. I don't think you get a racist vibe from Josh Shapiro. I just get like, I want to be president. like I said, I just get this pick me, thirsty, hungry. I think because there was some talk that, he would be the one to replace President Biden if he stepped down. So, it's clear that Josh Shapiro wants to be the president of the United States. I think he even said something last night kind of referring to that. I don't have a problem with your ambition, but it's not what you do and what you say, it's how you do it and how you say it. And the fact that you went in, with the attitude that you had, and to have the balls and the arrogance and, the inherent misogyny, I just got to call it out, that somehow that you could tell the woman that was going to decide whether or not that you would have the job of the vice president, how you think the job should be done and how it should run. No. So I'm glad, because all along I was like, he is too thirsty, he is too hungry. He is like, he's like Pennsylvanian version of Gavin Newsom. Because Gavin is like, to me, he is the king of thirst. You could tell he wanted to be president so bad, he probably just have an orgasm thinking about it, just get to having convulsions and shaking. Because he looks like one of those slick used car salesmen that will sell you a lemon but tell you it's in great shape. He just looks, and look, I'd have voted for Gavin Newsom too. But he just, look, he's an excellent politician, a great communicator. Oh, he's a masterful politician now, but he just come, now he don't come across, he doesn't have that pick me energy, he just got that phony energy. Plastic, it's like if you saw him at a car dealership and he was trying to sell you a car, you would probably leave the showroom. You're like, oh no, I don't trust this dude. His ass gonna sell me the damn car. The engine will probably fall out as soon as I drive it off the lot. Gavin Newsom has that energy, but no, at least publicly, he was loyal to President Biden. Now I'll give him that. So that's gonna be woo. So yes, Vice President Kamala Harris, great pick. Even better than because like I said, Mark Kelly was my first pick, but man, Governor Tim Walz got the resume, military sergeant major, 24 years, Army Reserves, school teacher, high school football coach, wife, beautiful family. Him and his wife had issues having a baby. They were having issues trying to have children, so they had to use IVF to have both of their children. But the way he stood 10 toes down, and he's pro-police, he was in the military, but he said what happened to George Floyd was wrong. And then there was another guy, Dante Wright, while the Derek Chauvin trial was going on in Minnesota, near Minneapolis, there was a kid, Dante Wright, that was shot and murdered by this woman cop. And Governor Walz spoke out and said, too many black people are being murdered by police. This is not right. He's not indicting all police, but he's indicting the police that are doing this, and it's happening too much because it shouldn't be happening at all. That's what Governor Tim Walz said. You can Google that. You can find that out for yourself. So, from rural America, ice fishes, and he's a hunter, gun owner, but he also passed, as a governor, he passed laws to make it safer for young people to be in school. He passed sensible gun laws, gun restriction laws, where people are just not running around with these AR-15s. So that was genius, Vice President Kamala Harris, and he's funny, and he's just real, an authentic dude. Like, we all know somebody like Governor Tim Walz. We had a teacher like that, or a coach, or a neighbor, or somebody that we work with. And if you were lucky, you may have a boss that was just really cool like that just saw the humanity in you. and wasn't on no racist, sexist, misogynistic bullshit. So, Tim Walz, Governor Walz, soon to be Vice President Walz, you got my support. Vice President, soon to be President-elect Kamala Harris, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And MAGA, see, DEI can work for white men too. It could work for you maybe one day. Well, maybe not, because you've been brainwashed by the cult. But yes, diversity, equity, and inclusion benefits. The whole purpose of it is for it to benefit everybody. To allow black women, black men, Hispanic women, Hispanic men, Asian women, Asian men, Native American women, Native American men, gay, straight, trans, with disabilities, to give everybody an opportunity. We all had gifts. We all had gifts. So give everybody an opportunity. There's strength in diversity. Even you, racist, white MAGA cult leaders and members, you've got some gifts. You just use them in the wrong way, in a divisive, hateful, racist, misogynistic, sexist, violent way. Too many of you. So, come back to the light. Leave the evil, the demonic, satanic, the hateful, violent. Leave all that. Death and destruction alone, man. People just want to live their best lives, because tomorrow ain't promised to none of us. None of us. Too much time, too much energy, hate. It's a waste of time. Total waste of time. All right, let me get out of here. All right, thanks everybody for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me. Please leave your comments in the comment section. Please, I got a lot of people watching me live right now, so please spread the word. Tell everybody, or as Nelly would say, I don't know if he said this morning when they arrested his ass at the casino. He's like, tell everybody to get me out of jail. No, tell everybody to subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Subscribe, share, screen grab or rip the video, like, binge watch all my back episodes, and leave your comments. So if you got a comment on this episode, I'd love to see your comment. Give me your opinion on Vice President Kamala Harris's pick of Governor Tim Walz to be her vice president. So you like it? Was that the one you wanted her to pick? Was it a great idea, a good idea, lousy idea? Maybe you still rocking, maybe you in Philly or Pittsburgh or somewhere in Pennsylvania. Maybe Mr. Pick Me, Mr. White Barack Obama, Hope and Change. Thirsty Josh Shapiro was your pick, or Governor Mark Kelly or Pete Buttigieg or whoever. Maybe somebody, maybe you wanted Governor Gretchen Whitmer, but she basically stepped out. She pulled herself out of it, like the Governor Roy Cooper in North Carolina. But anyway, so just let me know what you think about the pick. Post your comment in the comment section. Give me your comment on today's show. Love, like, hate, agree, disagree, whatever. Or you got something else, whatever comment you have, please leave your comments in the comment section, not just for this show, but for every episode. Live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central Time, 3:30 p.m. live in LA, live on the West Coast, live in Los Angeles, 3:30 p.m. All right. Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check him out on Instagram on IG Kel B Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP. He is the CEO of Designer Cuts. Here in the Charleston, South Carolina Metro, Allie Jones. She is the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. You can check her and her her Lexi Jones collection at lx.ncl_. underscores, that little dash behind the last L, LLX.NCL underscore. And shout out to Mr. Bruce Gage, the official wardrobe consultant. He's also official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the show. The Mario Uomo collection, many of the blazers like this one is part of the Mario Uomo collection. It's Miglio di Mario Uomo on Instagram, on IG. MIGLIODIMARIOUOMO. But I bet if you type in the search box, type Mario Uomo, MARIOUOMO, it'll come up in that search little magnifying glass on Instagram. And also, Flyball the store. He is the officially licensed retailer to carry apparel and gear for the Negro Baseball League and the Negro Baseball League Hall of Fame. Flyballthestore.com. FLYBALLTHESTORE.com. All right, the next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time up in New York, here in Charleston, South Carolina, in Atlanta, Miami, Philly, Washington, D.C., or the DMV, which is what I was going to say, Washington, D.C., DMV area, 6:30, Chicago, 5:30, Minneapolis, up there in Minnesota, where Governor Tim Walz, our soon-to-be next vice president is, 5:30 Central Time. Live in L.A. tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon, San Francisco, Oakland, Bay Area, Seattle, Portland, Oregon, San Diego, Phoenix, I think Phoenix is on Pacific Time, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, live. Be sure to tell everyone you know to please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Like I said, my goal, all my influencers out there, I need a favor. I need you to influence. I need 1,000 new subscribers in the next 60 days, because in the next 60 days, I'll be celebrating my 4th year anniversary. My 4th anniversary of doing the Geno Jones Show live 5 days a week right here on the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel, celebrating my company, Geno Media. We need more black-owned media companies, so thank you for your support. If you would like to be a sponsor, if you would love to advertise on the channel, reach out to me. Shout out to Heather Odom, who's also working with me in terms of those who like to be sponsors and advertisers, and my business consultant, Ms. Stephanie Lemon. Shout out to you too also. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you live Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.